Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP Stealth Archer build in Oblivion Remastered. Now, the Stealth Archer isn't as strong as it was in Skyrim, they really buffed it up in that game, but it's still plenty strong, and I found a good combination of some magic alongside the bow works very well here. So I'll be going over the best birth signs as well as skills and attributes to be focusing on. So you can see there, sneak attacks do a pretty good amount of damage, so you can take out people pretty quickly and easily just like that. But I'll first cover what attributes we want to be focusing on. Now, as far as your identity, the Wood Elf is the best choice here, as this gives us better archery skills, and we also get a simple command spell as well, and we're resistant to diseases, which is also quite nice. Now, another good choice is the Dark Elf, actually, because they get special skills in sword, bow, and destruction magic, which is what we'll be focusing on here. And they're also resistant to fire, and fire is a damage type you encounter a lot in Oblivion as you go into the rifts, because there's just a lot of fire damage in this game. Although going with an Orc, a Redguard, or even a Nord if you're a fan of Skyrim can work pretty well too. The reason I like Wood Elf is nimble and quick, they get resistance to diseases, and the improved endurance is nice because early game you want to have as much health as possible. As far as birth signs go, there's a few really good options here. Now note, they did change some of these from the original Oblivion game, which I think was for the best here, but I personally think that the Thief is probably your best bet. This is going to give you the most bang for your buck. Like this one here only gives you 20 total points. This here gives you 10 agility, 10 luck, and 10 speed. The thing is, with luck, it takes a lot of points to boost it up. So if you're going to, whenever we level up, it takes 4 points to get 1 luck point. So that's 40 points essentially worth of level up, and you only get 12 per level. So you can see there why it's such a good skill to have early on. Agility is also used to increase our bow damage, and speed is, it's an okay stat, but it's not super necessary. That's why I wouldn't recommend the Steed, which increases your movement speed by 20 points. This is better because we get 45 luck and agility instead. Now, the Mage can also be nice, giving 50 extra magicka, which is useful if we want to add casting in. I think casting does help a lot with us. The Warrior is also a good choice, however, if we want to be focusing more on weapons, because you get a plus 10 to your endurance and plus 10 to strength. Now, it's nice because, I mean, endurance is such a useful stat to have for more health. Strength will be more so for your melee attacks and carry weight. The Apprentice I wouldn't fully recommend. Making you increase damage from magic is not that great. The Shadow seems good, giving yourself invisibility for 60 seconds once per day. That's good in essence, but 30 total points is better, so just go with the Thief. The Tower also, again, you can open up a key, and you can actually get the Tower a boost early on in the game as well, so you don't even have to take this. You can do the abilities. The Atronach here is also another good choice because while you can't restore magicka with this, you become more tanky because you absorb spells and add that to your magic, and it also increases your total magicka by 150. So it can be good for certain playstyles if you like that kind of mindset. It's more tanky this way, and you'll get the stats otherwise. But this is a optional choice. I would still recommend probably the Thief or Warrior. The Ritual, you do get 2 special skills. You can restore 200 health once per day, which can be kind of nice, but I still feel like stats are a little bit more effective. Now, the Lord was changed heavily from original. This gives you now 15 plus armor rating and increases magic resistance by 15%, making you more tanky, so that can be nice. Although, with our build, we're not going to be getting hit that often. Now, we also got ourselves a Lady, which works well for a plus 10 to willpower and endurance, so this is like the opposite of the Warrior, giving us the 10 strength. The Willpower will increase our mana regeneration, and Fortify Endurance will give us more health, so that can be nice as well. The Thief and the Lady are probably 2 best options. The Lover can paralyze a target, which is good, but again, better options. And the Serpent also gives you a poison attack, so in retrospect, we got ourselves the Lady, the Thief, and the Warrior as the best options. You could go with the Mage or even the Atronach if you'd like, but I still think that Lady or the Thief is my personal pick for the best. It just makes sense with increased luck, agility, and speed, and luck being the hardest stat to increase. Now for our class, there are pre-made classes. However, I think it's best to go with a custom class. I called mine the Bardlock here. So we're focusing on a few different things. Obviously stealth, this is Stealth Archer. We're obviously going stealth, plus 5 level bonus and increase more rapidly too, which is also quite nice. Magic can be good, but we're going to add in magic a little bit differently. For our attributes, I would not pick speed. Now so the agility is going to increase our damage with short swords, bows, and increase our maximum fatigue and how quickly we recover with fatigue, which is nice because we're going to be running around and optimizing our positions often, and obviously bow damage is important, so I'd recommend picking agility. Now there's a few good options here. I wouldn't fully recommend strength. Endurance is a really good one though if you wanted to get something like that, because this will increase your maximum health and how fast we regenerate health out of combat. However, intelligence is also quite nice if we want to be casting a bit of extra spells. Now, stealth and archer, you know, you wouldn't think that this is something that would go together, but more magic is really good. Now, it's only a +5 bonus, so you can get literally at level 2 a +5 bonus, so it's not a massive change, but either willpower or intelligence are good. I would prefer a bit of intelligence early game, but I think getting endurance up fast is most optimal. Personality, meh, if that's your playstyle, I'll go with it, but I don't think so. And luck is also, again, really good skill to go with because it's just so hard to get out and level up. Getting a +5 bonus is like getting 20 points. It's really good. So if you don't want to take endurance, go with luck. Agility and luck is probably the two best. However, endurance for more maximum health early game is probably your best bet. Now for skills. This is where it gets a little bit interesting, to say the least. So things like the athletics, I've talked about this before, and acrobatics, they're good. However, if you level these up quickly, you're not going to have as many, you're not going to have the, you know, same effectiveness as having higher light armor, higher weapon skills, and higher marksmanship, which is the main focus here. So this can increase the scaling of the enemies you face. It was a big problem in the original Oblivion. It's not as much this time around, but this doesn't really impact you. It will level you up quicker. It gives a nice 20 level bonus and increases in skill much more rapidly. These will increase in skill rapidly regardless, because you're going to be running everywhere. So I would not fully recommend acrobatics or athletics, since you will level these up naturally. It can be good. I've seen arguments either way, but it's probably best to level up your more important combat skills. So I want the blade here so we can get more damage out of blade weapons. On top of that, I'm a big fan of these two schools of magic. So Conjuration is actually very, very good in Oblivion. This lets you summoning creatures. Now, as a archer, you're going to want to be in stealth as much as you can, but it's inevitable that you're going to get out of stealth, like it happens in most combat encounters. You want to start with stealth. Having a Conjuration summon to help out with that can be extremely useful, because you can summon in like a skeleton. It'll tank for you while you're firing off your arrows. On top of that, destruction magic's nice. Whenever you pick a school of magic, it gives you a few spells at the start too. So whenever we go with Conjuration, it'll give us a summoned skeleton. And with destruction, we get the flare spell. My personal recommendation is to go in your stealth, hide out, attack with your skeleton out, and then in between your bow attacks, if there's weak enemies, fireballs are easier and quicker to fire off. So it can be shoot an arrow, fireball, while your summon is attacking. Restoration is also quite nice though. You're going to use restoration a lot because you do need to heal in this game. And this can also absorb attributes or fortify your attributes, but I would fully recommend just the healing skills. You do get a heal spell right at the start of the game too, so not super necessary that you take this. I think that these two are the better two of the magic options. Light armor. I think light armor is great because heavy armor weighs a lot early game, and you don't get to make heavy armor not weigh yourself down until you get to heavy armor skill 100. So the light armor gets that a lot sooner, so I'd recommend going with this because you can make your light armor not weigh yourself down at all very quickly and early on in the game. Marksman, enough said. We're obviously going to be a bow user. It does take about 2 seconds per shot, so just a heads up. Bows are a little slow. However, as I mentioned, we can use destruction spells in between, so that's where it gets really nice. And sneak, move around and be unheard when getting, obviously we're stealth archer. This is the most important skill alongside marksmanship. This also helps out with pickpocketing. And then speechcraft can be okay. This can help out with your persuading listeners. However, you can also bribe them. So that one isn't fully necessary. I'd recommend going with a split of blade, conjuration, destruction, light armor, marksman, restoration, and sneak. You can also take like something like an illusion magic or mysticism if you'd like for something a little bit more flavored. Armor can be nice to help repair your weapons. However, if you get a lot of gold, you can always just buy repair kits and level that up naturally. As mentioned, athletics and acrobatics don't offer as much benefit compared to something like your other skills, like going with a bit of magic, really nice, and then going with a bit of our stealth. So something like this I found to be very effective as a class. I called it the Bard Law, kind of a combination of the Bard and the Warlock, because we got destruction magic and conjuration, but we also got all the skills. You could also, again, add in the persuasion, but I found from my experience it's not as effective as having another school of magic like the restoration. So with this spread, we're actually pretty strong. As far as combat goes, I'd recommend summoning in your skeleton. Like if you got yourself into a situation where you're not able to use stealth, we got our conjuration skeleton there, which can help us tank a little bit. And then we can go with our arrow attacks. So I'd recommend that. And then if you're not able to hit your arrows, or if the target's low in health, you can just blast them with a fireball, just like that. Again, our most important skill is going to be our stealth skill. So we're going to want to use stealth as much as possible to get up and get those sneak attacks in. So something like this, you can just go ahead, shoot them, take them out just like that. It's actually pretty simple once we get the stealth rolling. If you can find an enchanted bow, that's going to be helpful too, because we can use things like the bow of wariness there, which will make targets tired. And again, if we are low on, if we can't hit them, let's say we miss our shot there, casting fireball can be a nice way to just finish off a target if we're literally just a couple hits away from taking them out. The awesome thing about stealth is we got a few different playstyles we can adapt to. Like, we can go and pickpocket people relatively easily, but I honestly recommend Conjuration Destruction alongside this. It makes a massive deal with how survivable we can become with being able to just summon this in, and then they tank for us. So you can see there, they stop giving a crap about me, so I can just go ahead with shooting off at them while they're distracted by our skeleton. Plus, the skeletons look incredible in the remaster. So yeah, this is a stealth archer build in Oblivion Remastered. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.